morning. Today we are going through the second chapter of the novel Animal Farm, written by George Orwell. Let's begin with influence of the speech of the old Mage. After 3 days of the first meeting of animals, old Mage left the world for heaven. But animals could not forget his speech. His long speech awakened the spirit of freedom in animals. The death of old Mage became a loss to the whole of the animals' race. They decided to develop the outlook of old Mage. The pigs were considered the most intelligent among the animals. Two young boys, Napoleon and Snowball, seemed to be the true followers of old Mage. Then both of them began to teach the animals. The animals realized that Snowball was more lively than Napoleon. With a small fat pig named Squealer, who is a brilliant orator and can convince listeners of anything, he was able to talk brilliantly. Both the pigs, Napoleon and Snowball, formulated the thoughts of old Mage into a system. That system was called by them as animalism. They started to hold meetings in the barn. Many animals suggest they owe loyalty to Mr. Jones, and others point out that they will starve without Mr. Jones to feed them. Others insist simply that they don't need to care about what might happen long after they are dead. The differences between how the pigs begin to think about the revolution and how the other animals think about the revolution again start to show how class will develop on the farm. The pigs are already becoming part of an intellectual class concerned with abstract ideas or intellectual ideas and education, while the concerns of the common people, or in the case of the lower classes, are mostly concerned with making it through the day and don't have the energy to consider the possibility that things will ever get better. They began to teach the principles of animalism to other animals, Napoleon and Snowball. They found two difficulties in practicing the principles of animalism. Molly asked the silliest questions, such as if there will be sugar after the rebellion and if she will still be able to wear ribbons in her mane. Snowball patiently tries to impress upon her that she doesn't need sugar and that the ribbons are a badge of slavery. But Molly seems unconvinced. The pigs also have issues with the tame raven Moses. Though he doesn't work and therefore isn't well liked. He also tells tales about a place called Sugar Candy Mountain, a beautiful place where animals go when they die. Many animals believe in Sugar Candy Mountain, and the pigs work hard to convince those believers otherwise. Boxer and Clover, however, proved to be the pigs' best disciples or followers. They are not incredibly intelligent, but they purify the pigs' ideas into simple arguments that they share with the other animals. As a parallel to the comfortable middle class, Molly's main concern is whether she will be able to maintain her comparatively decadent lifestyle after the rebellion. A lifestyle that Snowball suggests is indicative of Molly having bought into the idea that being enslaved by the upper classes and trying to move up is totally fine. Moses, meanwhile, is a parallel to organized religion, which in the pig's mind divert people from thinking about what truly matters. The rebellion in this life, not heaven in the next one. Then we are going to speak about revolt of animals. The rebellion arrives much earlier and happens much more easily than anyone expected. Mr. Jones has, in the last few years, begun drinking more, so he neglects his animals and property. In June, when the hay is almost ready to cut, Mr. Jones goes to farm at Willingdon, gets extremely drunk, and is gone for a full 24 hours. His lazy farmhands means workers on a farm, hunt rabbits and don't feed the animals. And when Mr. Jones gets back, he falls right back to sleep. The hungry animals snap, break down the door of the store shed and eat. Mr. Jones wakes up and leads his farm hands in whipping the animals. But the animals revolt and turn on the men. Terrified, the humans race down the drive and Mrs. Jones packs a bag and slips out a back way. The animals slam the gate behind Mr. Jones. One of the most important things to note here is that the rebellion happens when animals use their physical strength as one to overthrow their leader. Something that, unfortunately for those in the lower classes, the animals will go on to forget. This event as a whole is a parallel to the Bolshevik Revolution, in which the Red Army as well as Tsar Nicholas's own guards turned on him and drive out him quickly. As in the novel, the revolution grew out of dissatisfaction with the way Tsar Nicholas was running the country. I think all of you are very familiar with Tsar Nicholas II. He was unable to rule effectively. He made poor decisions that led to worsening relations with the government and increased hardship for civilians and soldiers alike. Nicholas refused to accept any reduction in the absolute power he held. However, Nicholas was not well educated in the tactics of war. We can coming back to the second chapter. Let us go through animals' happiness at their victory. All the animals were very happy at their freedom. The animals first galloped gleefully around the farm and then destroyed evidence of Mr. Jones's power. They throw bits, nose rings, dog chains, and sharp knives down the well, and they burn halters and whips. What is halter? A halter or head collar is headgear that is used to lead or tie up livestock and occasionally other animals. It fits behind the ears and around the muzzle. To handle the animal, usually a lead rope is attached. Snowball even throws the horse's mane and tail ribbons into the fire, insisting that ribbons are clothes and the mark of humans. Animals, he suggests, should go naked. At this, Boxer throws the straw hat he wears in the summer to protect his ears from flies on the fire. In that night, they took very sound sleep that they could never take in the regime of Johns. Napoleon serves everyone a double ration, and the animals sing Beasts of England 7 times and sleep well. Singing Beasts of England here again allows the animals to connect through language. At this point, the song likely has more meaning for more animals, since they now have, in theory, reached the golden time the song speaks of. Boxer's choice to throw his very useful straw hat on the fire again shows how absolutist the ideology guiding this revolution is, as there is no room for nuance and the possibility that purely useful things should be able to remain. In the morning, after taking the breakfast, the animals all rushed to the top of a hill to gaze upon the farm. When they reached the farm, Napoleon opened the door of the farm. They inspect every building and pasture, ending with the farmhouse. Napoleon and Snowball lead the animals into the house for a tour. They are in awe of the luxury until they realize Molly is missing, but they find her playing with Mrs. Jones's hair ribbons and reprimand her. Reprimand means a formal expression of disapproval. The animals were impressed by the luxurious things of the farm. After a long survey, they agreed to maintain the farmhouse as a museum. No animal should live there. After breakfast, Snowball and Napoleon call everyone together for an announcement. They reveal that the pigs have been teaching themselves to read and write over the past few months. Everyone watches as Snowball covers up Manor Farm on the gate with the Animal Farm. They converted the name of Manor Farm into Animal Farm. They painted the new name at the entrance door. The farmhouse itself is a symbol of decadence or corruption and of totalitarian rule, as it contains all the fruits of Mr. Jones's illegitimately or immorally assembled wealth. The proposal to make it a museum, meanwhile, will in the theory offer the animals a touchstone of what not to do, thereby saving them from corruption. The revelation that the pigs taught themselves to read and write throws a twist in things, as it means that they will be more powerful than the other illiterate animals. Renaming the farm is only the first instance of the pigs literally rewriting history. Under the leadership of Snowball and Napoleon, the pigs declared 7 commandments as the principles of animalism. These 7 commandments were also painted on the main wall of the farm in white letters. Snowball climbs a ladder and paints the rules on the side of the barn. The following were the 7 commandments. First one, whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. Second one, whatever goes upon four legs or has wings is a friend. Third one, no animal shall wear clothes. Fourth one, no animal shall sleep in a bed. Fifth one, no animal shall drink alcohol. Sixth one, no animal shall kill any other animal. Seventh one, all animals are equal. Snowball reads it aloud for everyone and then calls everyone for the hay harvest. Declaration of Snowball. Snowball suggested to every animal to go to the farm and work hard, and there to cut in harvest more quickly than Jones and his men could do. The cows protest as they haven't been milked. The animals wonder what to do with the milk. But Napoleon gallantly tells everyone not to worry about it. Gallantly means heroic manner. Just like a hero, Napoleon tells everyone, you don't worry about the milk. When the animals returned that evening from the hay fields, the buckets of milk are gone. The 7 commandments summarize the idealistic nature of the rebellion, as in theory at least, they set out the groundwork for the animals to celebrate themselves. Criticizing everything that makes humans human, however, leaves little room for the animals to advance, given that the novel has already laid out the expectation that as individuals become more powerful, they effectively become more human. The missing milk is an early clue too that this revolution isn't as rosy or hopeful as it might seem at first. We can go through the critical comments relating this chapter too. After the death of the old Mage, animals are unable to fix the exact date for revolution. In order to spread the principles of animalism, the pigs arrange the meetings. In this chapter, we are introduced to Napoleon and Snowball. Moses, a raven who always talks of Sugar Candy Mountain, represents the church. When animals expel Jones, Moses also leaves the farm. The episode of Moses is a parody of communist atheism. After the revolution, animals declare 7 commandments. All the commandments are the outcome of the long speech of Mage. In fact, the 7 commandments reveal the theory of Marx. After the death of Marx, his principles were violated by the communists. The incident of the vanished milk reminds of the violation of the theories of Marx by the communists. The pigs take the responsibility of teaching and organizing the animals. In this way, they succeed in imposing superiority over other animals. The communists, after the revolution of 1917, also declared that they were superior to other human beings in the world, especially in Russia. The manner in which the pigs assume authority over other animals also reminds us of the way through which the communists imposed their rule over Russia. സെക്കൻഡ് ചാപ്റ്ററിൽ നാം പ്രധാനമായിട്ട് ഓർത്ത് വയ്ക്കേണ്ടത് ഓൾഡ് മേജറിൻ്റെ മരണവും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ സ്പീച്ച് എത്രമാത്രം മൃഗങ്ങളിൽ സ്വാധീനം ചെലുത്തി എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. സെക്കൻഡ് ചാപ്റ്ററിലൂടെയാണ് പ്രധാന ക്യാരക്ടേഴ്സായിട്ടുള്ള നെപ്പോളിയനും സ്നോബോളും കടന്നു വരുന്നത്. അവരാണ് പിന്നീട് മൃഗങ്ങളെ നയിക്കുന്നത്. അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ സ്ക്വീലറിനെ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ സാധിക്കും. സ്ക്വീലർ വളരെ നല്ല പ്രാസംഗികനായിരുന്നു. നെപ്പോളിയനും സ്നോബോളും ചേർന്ന് ആനിമലിസം കൊണ്ടുവരികയും അതിൻ്റെ ഐഡിയാസ് സ്ക്വീലറും ബോക്സറും ക്ലോവറും ചേർന്ന് മറ്റുള്ള മൃഗങ്ങളിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. എന്നാൽ അനിമലിസത്തിനെതിരെ 2 പേരാണ് പ്രധാനമായിട്ട് രംഗത്ത് വന്നത്. ഒന്ന് മോളിയും അതുപോലെ മോസസും. മോസസിൻ്റെ ഷുഗർ കാൻഡി മൗണ്ടെയിൻ എന്ന കൺസെപ്റ്റും വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് തന്നെയാണ്. പിന്നീടാണ് മൃഗങ്ങൾ കലാപം തുടരുന്നത്. കാരണം മിസ്റ്റർ ജോൺസ് വളരെയധികം മദ്യപിച്ച് വന്ന് മൃഗങ്ങൾക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ള ഭക്ഷണം നൽകാതിരുന്ന ആ രാത്രിയിലാണ് ഭക്ഷണത്തിന് വേണ്ടി മൃഗങ്ങൾ ഒരു കലാപം സൃഷ്ടിക്കുന്നത്. ആ കലാപത്തിൽ അവർ മിസ്റ്റർ ജോൺസിനെ തോൽപ്പിക്കുകയും മിസ്റ്റർ ജോൺസും കുടുംബവും ഫാം വിട്ട് പോവുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നു. പിന്നീട് അവർക്ക് സന്തോഷത്തിൻ്റെ നാളുകളാണ് ആരംഭിക്കുന്നത്. സമാധാനത്തോടെ ഉറങ്ങിയ ആ രാത്രിയിൽ അവർ 7 തവണയാണ് ബീസ്റ്റസ് ഓഫ് ഇംഗ്ലണ്ട് എന്ന ഗാനം ആരംഭിക്കുന്നത്. അതിനുശേഷം സ്നോബോളും നെപ്പോളിയനും ചേർന്ന് അവരെ പഠിപ്പിക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങുന്നുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ സ്നോബോൾ അവരെ ഓർമ്മിപ്പിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, തീർച്ചയായും നാം ഫാമിൽ പോയി കഠിനാധ്വാനം ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ളത്. അപ്പോഴാണ് പശുക്കൾ അതിന് തയ്യാറാവാതെ നിൽക്കുകയും കാരണം അവർക്ക് പാൽ കറക്കാത്തത് കൊണ്ടുള്ള ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുകൾ ഓർമ്മിപ്പിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഒരുപാട് ബക്കറ്റുകളിൽ നിറച്ചു വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന പാൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം എന്ന് ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒരു നായകൻ്റെ പ്രൗഢിയോട് കൂടിയിട്ട് നെപ്പോളിയൻ അതിനെക്കുറിച്ചൊന്നും നിങ്ങൾ പേടിക്കണ്ട എന്ന് പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. എന്നാൽ മൃഗങ്ങൾ ജോലി കഴിഞ്ഞ് തിരിച്ച് വൈകുന്നേരം വരുമ്പോൾ ആ ബക്കറ്റുകളൊക്കെ കാലിയായിരുന്നു. അതും വരാൻ പോകുന്ന സംഭവങ്ങൾ അത്ര ശുഭകരമായിരിക്കില്ല എന്ന ഒരു സൂചനയാണ് നോവലിൽ നൽകുന്നത്. പിന്നീട് നമ്മൾ ഓർത്ത് വെക്കേണ്ട പോയിൻറ്റ്സ് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും 7 കമാൻഡ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് തന്നെയാണ്. So I hope all of you understood the second chapter well. Thank you.